Welcome back to Blox News. I am your host, Barrick Eric, and we have many stories to cover today, from a PvP tournament to war. But to get us started, we'll be heading over to the newly formed New W'Enderpog Republic Mediterranean District. This district was founded by Harpo and is the only place in all of W'Enderpog City that has a strict building code. There's an arena there, as you can see here, and that arena recently held a PvP tournament. This PvP tournament was a double elimination tournament that saw 8 members from across the server come together and try to fight it out. Now, of course, the double elimination was not needed for Trenticlees, who's able to win the entire tournament without losing a single bout. The Mediterranean District is just on the other side of the recently opened Undercroft Mall. This is a mall where we've seen many stores from both foreign citizens and our own W'Enderpogian citizens form shops to sell different goods such as concrete and quartz. There's also, right next to the W'Enderpogian Museum, this is a museum that is going to be covering all major events that involve W'Enderpog. You can go there now and see many displays such as this one about the Prusso-Ducklantian War, which is only in there because Trenticlees and Harpo war profiteered so much off of that war. Speaking of Harpo, over to Ted Ram with some election news.
Thank you, Barrick. So, in the recent election between Jimbo, Harpo, and JO3, Harpo was able to win not because of a vote, but because of a double tie into a coin flip. The original vote saw that Jimbo only took 19% of the vote, leaving the rest for Harpo and JO3 to split evenly. This would then go on to a special second election that did not involve Jimbo, that also led to a tie. Then this would be finally decided by coin flip. The coin flip would decide that Harpo will serve a second term in which he has vowed to do better for and better represent this nation. And in air of that, he had a speech about the state of the nation, which we will play in full after this broadcast. The speech included the formation of the Global Defense Initiative. The founding members of the New W'Enderpogian Republic, Neutral City, Asteria, Vonin D, Duellerande Insurgency, and Obsidian Depths Industries all vow to try to protect each other's sovereignty and peace throughout the world, as well as condemning any nation or persons that would think of leaving the World Assembly. This would also be where he would announce the Mercenary Corps. The Mercenary Corps is a service into the W'Enderpogian military in which other nations could pay W'Enderpog to see its citizens who wish to go out and fight in wars get that chance to do so and fight for that nation. Trenticlees has already signed up for this military, as well as JO3 and President Harpo. This leads to a mighty fighting force of 3 so far, with more spaces opened up, as well as a opportunity for foreign citizens to also sign up for the Mercenary Corps. Speaking of possible wars, I hear there is some fake news going on in Echo Valley about one bagel and cream cheese. We're gonna go down to the field. Down to Frederick Office, who has the scoop on it.
Thank you, Ted. Well, as you can see here, pictured here behind me is the jail cell of Bagel and Cream Cheese. Bagel and Cream Cheese are falsely accused of war crimes by the Echo Valley government, and this reporter here definitely believes that they should both be freed from their wrongful imprisonment. What do you think, Barrick?
Well, I can agree with that. I think that we are seeing a dangerous use of a foreign media to spread propaganda about these two innocent foxes. This is one where we personally got a statement from President Harpo on what he thought about it, and he also agrees that these foxes are wrongly imprisoned and has even offered them refuge within the new W'Enderpogian borders. Harpo would also later go on to announce about the formation of the new W'Enderpog Republic Navy. This is a navy that is meant to show W'Enderpogian claims on the high seas, as we all know how ambiguous it can be without a few builds out there. In other news, Neutral City has annexed the former communist lands. The communist lands of New Prussia and South Berlin were abandoned following the Prusso-Ducklantian War. They received mass devastations, and ever since Inxi declared independence and split from them, there's not much reason for the communists to exist any longer, and they disbanded, leaving the lands completely unclaimed. Neutral City has claimed them in a bid to try to improve the surrounding environment to their city. Speaking of expansions, Blox Media, the parent company of Blox News, has expanded and has created a studio here in W'Enderpog City. This studio is going to be creating brand new shows, such as Guardian Tank, where different members of the server can come and try to bid for funding from some of the richer members on the server. And also, I hear there may be a total drama spin-off that is planned to be recorded between a few members on the server. But this leads us into a dark time in W'Enderpogian history, where our neutrality had to be broken due to some insurgents. Ted, you have the story.
Thank you, Barrick. So, it was a sad day when the W'Enderpogian government was sent an inquiry from the Ducklantian government asking about what happened in a mass grief attack. Many phallic symbols and resources were taken from the Ducklantian territory. This got President Harpo to get online, along with many others, to try to figure out what happened, and that was when it was discovered that some diamonds from the Grand Capitol building of W'Enderpog had been stolen unjustly. This immediately got Harpo to call on to Article 5 of the Global Defense Initiative's Constitution, which then got a large army of 8 players, including the Ducklantians, who were soon invited into GDI and would join to come together and hunt down the insurgents. The insurgents would be identified, and a war would break out with W'Enderpog breaking neutrality after many long months on the server's existence. This war was fought very swiftly, and over the course of 3 hours, it was done. The insurgents had been caught, and justice had been served. And then it was discovered that W'Enderpogian citizen Ludi TV 3130 was the mastermind behind the insurgent plans. He was then prosecuted the very next day and given hefty fines and hefty community service to make up for his crimes. Ludi TV has since claimed to be a changed man and is just wanting to get back into the business of rockets. Back to you, Barrick.
Thank you, Ted Ram. And that is going to do it here for us on this edition of Blox News. And a reminder for any new players who are out there who might want to take that boat trip to join us here in the Forgotten Falls, there is an application to maybe get your chance to get in down in the description. But I've been Barrick Eric, and this has been Blox News. We'll see you next time. I would like to thank all the ladies, gentlemen, and esteemed persons that have shown up to hear this speech today. The first thing that I would like to talk about in this state of the new W'Enderpogian Republic is the state of world affairs. Now, I know the average person probably thinks, oh, what happened over in the greater nation of communist good doesn't affect the average person, but it can. All the nations of the world are uniquely interconnected economically, politically, and emotionally. What affects one nation could affect the rest. And right now, the world is in a time of peace and prosperity. From the dueling peaks of Duellerande Tapar to the hidden valley of Echo Valley, and all the way over to the walled-off grotto of Vonundi, there is peace and prosperity. And there's a danger to losing that. There's a danger of loss of life, loss of income, and loss of personal safety. So, to combat this and to stop any nation that decided to be a present threat to the new W'Enderpog Republic and other nations around the world, we have decided to form an organization called the Global Defense Initiative. The Global Defense Initiative promises to place sanctions on any nation that attacks one of her member states. The Global Defense Initiative also promises to place sanctions and bans on any nation that were to leave the World Assembly, because without the regulations of the World Assembly, there's truly no limit to the damage that one nation could do. On to that, I would like to announce the member states by order of joining to the Global Defense Initiative. Obviously, the new W'Enderpog Republic was the first to join. Second to join was the Vonandi Dwarfs. Then Asteria. Obsidian Depth Industry also joined. Duellerande Tapar also joined. And finally, Neutral City joined to form the Global Defense Initiative. Any attack or sanctions unprompted on any of these member states will result in sanctions and bans from all other member states. I would also, on top of all this, like to announce the formation of the new W'Enderpog Republic Mercenary Corps. This is a corps that any nation, whether a part of the Global Defense Initiative or not, could hire to come fight for them in their war. This will not put any of the blame on the new W'Enderpog Republic, for we may even send mercenaries to both sides if that is what is paid for, but rather a means to provide a fair fight for some of our smaller nations and allies. Now, if we move to domestically, we've had nothing but good news after good news befall this nation. We've had the opening of the Undercroft Mall, which has seen nothing but expansion and support, both domestically and on the global community. We have an arena that is going to be opened and host its first tournament soon for a diamond prize. This first tournament will have no entry cost, and there'll be further information on that for those who want to sign up to the PvP event. We have plans to continue the expansion of our great city, both west, slightly north, south, and slightly east. And I hope that every citizen does their part in helping the expansion. I will now take questions from those in attendance.
Hello, I have a question.
Yes, Mr. Eccles.
How does one join the Mercenary Corps?
One will join the Mercenary Corps simply by talking to the President and coming to terms with how they're going to be paid, and to make sure that they understand anything that would be required of them with the Corps.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, Mr. Blue Elf of Ducklantia.
So, to join the Mercenary Corps, do you have to be a citizen of the new W'Enderpog Republic?
You would not necessarily have to be a citizen,
Interesting.
but you would have to follow all new W'Enderpog Republic laws and regulations, and you would have only during your tenure while inside of the Mercenary Corps.
Cool.
Also, you would have to pass just like a very small test to make sure you're not just joining to, be a psychopath. But very small test. Any other questions? Okay. I would like to thank everyone here for their time and wish them a safe travels home. And it sounds like I need to go to my office to talk about the Mercenary Corps. Thank you.